played the Lakers, I seen how LeBron was carrying himself, coaching his teammates, and everybody was playing their role. So I told Kat about it. Me and Kat had a conversation.
Congrats, great game tonight. Thanks, Ant.
Gosh. All right.
Anthony Edwards with a career-high 42.
Boys, Kurt, could you imagine being nice enough to like give an interview after a game and then just some lady is just like, all right, that's enough. That's enough from you.
It's like, all right, I got my clip. That's enough. You can go back to the locker room now.
God,
I didn't even see that.
That lady should be fired. That's insane.
That's terrible.
That's a tough look.
Terrible journalism.
Yeah. Oh my God. Anthony Edwards. If I was him, I would never do another interview for that TV station ever again. I'd be like, nope, not getting one out of me, man. But
listen, I took journalism, and you definitely weren't able to do that.
Definitely not. Just cut people off. Like you imagine,
we've heard enough.
Imagine like CNN, like they're interviewing like Donald Trump, and he's just like going, like, all right, that's enough. Thank you. Moving on.
Our clip for the show.
Exactly. Welcome back, everybody, to Taking All Bets. Is this episode 10 now? It might be
10 or is it 10 or 11?
I don't know.
We're into the double digits now, though.
We're into the double digits, though. That's all that matters. Yeah. So welcome back, everybody. If you haven't already, hit like, hit subscribe, rate the show, do whatever you gotta do. We really appreciate it. So Anthony Edwards, just getting cut off in interviews. Some other basketball legend got cut off this week. Paul Pierce, he's out. He's done with ESPN, man.
Okay, that was hilarious, though. Just how that all went
funny.
down. That was hilarious.
Yeah, we posted the video on our Instagram, and it's just him sitting at like a poker table with just this like woman just shaking her ass aggressively behind him, and him just filming it and him being like, yeah, what's up? Like, where you at? And then some girl is commenting like, oh, where are you at? I want to be there. And he's like, come on down. You can make some money. Where you at? If you're in the LA area, come down. Just a maniac.
Didn't Barstool reach out to him too after he was let go by ESPN?
They should. I mean, that's just one of the funniest things ever.
That was hilarious.
They probably love it. Like Dave Portnoy just hates LeBron. So does Paul Pierce. They just get along.
Oh, it's perfect fit
well.
then.
Exactly. I heard this story today thinking of just women shaking their ass. Did you ever hear the Bob Costas story?
I don't think so. Let's hear it.
So there was a live podcast last weekend, and this comedian was on it. And he's telling this story about Bob Costas. So the comedian saying this is a few years ago. Him and this other comedian, they go into a strip joint in Philadelphia. And it's like one of these high-end places where where they confiscate your phone. So like high-end people go there and just like commit horrible acts and nobody can take pictures of them.
Okay.
Type thing. So they're in there and he says he swears he sees Bob Costas at the railing of the stage while this girl is right in front of him shaking her ass in his face, and he is just rifling dollar bills off her ass. And they said, no joke, a week later, Bob Costas has pink eye.
Oh my God. I did not hear that story.
You can look up, like everybody, like you can definitely look this up. You can look up Bob Costas pink eye, and he's on air with pink eye. Bob Costas is this legendary like football announcer, and basically they're like, Bob Costas eats ass.
That's funny.
Just a maniac. Yeah, but Paul Pierce, he's donezo's. Not really surprised. I mean, as soon as I saw that video, I go, ABC not gonna like this.
No, you knew right away that wasn't going to sit well with them.
No.
It was ESPN is owned by Disney, right?
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah.
So you knew right away that that wasn't going to end well for him.
No, doesn't go over well. There was some other. Well, before let's slow down. Kurt, how you doing? How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. I got out on the course today, first round of 18. We're not going to get into what I shot, but it was.
Oh no! You're definitely getting into what you shot. What did you shoot, bud?
It was over 110. Put it that way. It was.
That's all right. It's a first round.
Yeah, but the sun was out, weather's warm. He had to go out. It was nice just to get back out, right?
Yeah.
Especially these days, not a ton to do, so that was refreshing.
You know what? I'll say it right now. Okay. I went on their show a few weeks ago, and Kurt, if you're on board, let me know, and we'll send out the invite. You and me versus Jake and Hunter. We're gonna do a 2-on-2 game of golf. We're gonna do 18 holes for podcast supremacy. That's what we're gonna do.
You know what? I am definitely in. We gotta get that going. Let's get that cooking right now. Yeah, for sure.
So if you're listening off the Rails podcast, we will kick your ass in 18 holes of golf.
And this is our formal challenge right here.
Formal challenge. If you don't accept, you forfeit. Okay. That's just it. No, I got out yesterday to the course for the first time because Doug Ford said stay-at-home order going into effect Thursday morning, and I was like, got to get out there before any problems, and then turns out golf courses aren't closing, so whatever. But I get out there, dude, for the first round of the year, I'll say not bad. I would say half of the balls I was striking really well. Half of them I was just chunking the shit out of, like just taking about 6 inches of dirt with every shot, but whatever. Yep. But hey, that's what it is.
The first round's always like that, right? It's you gotta feel it out.
Score.
I think I was actually I was on the way to my round this morning or this afternoon, and I got that Amber Alert about the stay at home. It was a stay at home. I was like, I'm halfway there.
I was at work and they're like, stay at home, and I was like, sorry.
I'm essential.
Can't do it. Sorry. Yeah. Whatever.
I feel like this lockdown, those restrictions, that's a discussion for another time.
Well, there's like those TikToks, right? And it's like, tell me you live in Ontario without telling me you live in Ontario. And it's like, effective Thursday at 12:01, there will be a stay-at-home order. And this is Doug Ford saying it. And then it's 21 Jump Street, and the gym teacher's like, fuck you, Doug.
Yeah, I saw there's been so many of those. That's hilarious.
It is pretty funny. Whatever. Did you watch the March Madness finals?
You know what? As I'm a big March Madness fan, and I did watch it, but once they got up by like 15, I was like, I can't watch this anymore. I can't believe this. I was like,
yeah,
you wait all this whole tournament all year, and this is this final game. Like, Baylor had it under control from the tip off. Like, it was they dominated.
Baylor was a number 1 seed too, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, number 2, 1 seed, 2 overall.
Or number 1 seed, yeah.
So I guess I shouldn't have been a surprise, but just Gonzaga looked so good all year.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that it was because it wasn't close. Baylor just dominated. So shout out to Baylor, because that was a very convincing, dominating victory. So good for them.
So Gonzaga had 1 loss all year now?
That's it. That was it.
Yeah. Oof.
Would have been 31-0. I know.
When I played like travel team football, whatever you want to call it. You want to call it rep or AAA, whatever you want to call it. We were really, really good. Like, we beat a team one time like 86-0.
Okay.
And it was just like a slaughter, or beat another team like 72-0. Hadn't lost all year. We get to the finals and we lose like 21-5. And at no point was there even a chance we were going to win that game. Like, I think literally a field goal and a safety, I think, is what we got. And it is so deflating when you're like, we worked that hard and we played that well just to get embarrassed.
I had a similar situation my final year, so grade 12 high school. Loss of championships it would be.
Mm-hmm.
We're undefeated, so we're the number 1 seed, I guess, going into the finals, and that was the only game we lost. It was like a 3 or 4 run loss, but like it's just so devastating. We were undefeated, dominated all year, and that was the one game we lost.
Or like when you and it's like the feeling of like you're like, we are so good. Like we are like, man, like I'm good. I'm on this team. I'm playing for this team. I'm a good player. And then you go play that other team and you're like, oh, I'm dog shit at this sport. You're like, I am nowhere close to being as good as I thought I was. Like I was like, so at the time, I think I was like, I don't know. I was probably like 5'8". I was like 220 pounds. And I was a lineman.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, God, I was like, I feel big. I feel strong. I was like, yeah, let's do this. Come on, let's go. And then there was a guy who, like, there was 3 guys on the other team that were 4 inches taller than me and 80 pounds heavier than me. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm a child. I'm a child.
Never mind. Scratch that.
Yeah, I'm a child, and they're gonna rip me apart. Cool. All right.
Especially in a sport like football, where it's such a battle of the lines, right? Like that does make a difference. It's not like a sport like baseball or hockey where it's less of a factor. Football, it's absolutely a factor.
Yeah, and when you're on the line, like we talked about this, like in this when we were talking about the Super Bowl, but it's just like when you know you can physically do nothing against the guy you're lined up across from, it's just so you just want to crawl under a rock, like you just want to die.
Yeah,
you feel so bad. But anyways, yeah. So we're gonna do some golfing eventually with those boys, but the pros are playing today. First round of the Masters going on. Mm-hmm. And I got to tell you, my long shot, Kevin Kisner, he's even right now. I think the leader is only, 3 under, 4 under maybe?
Yeah, who is it? It's
I know Patrick Reed was up there.
I think he was 2 under. Was it Japanese?
Oh no, Justin Rose. Wow, Justin Rose was 4 under.
Oh, that's up. I was watching it right before we started here.
Justin Rose is 4 under and he's through 14.
Okay.
Reed is 2 under. Matsuyama.
Ooh. Oh yeah, Matsu. That's who I was thinking of. Matsu. He was leading when I checked earlier. So that's updated now. It looks like it's Justin Rose. Yeah.
Yes, Rose.
Interesting.
4 under.
Simpson at 2 under. Patrick Reed 2 under.
Yeah.
Your guy Kisner's even. Yep. Mackenzie Hughes, Canadian, even.
Gotta love it. But yeah, Kisner. I mean, Kisner was like 141 to 1. So yeah, we figured it out.
Actually, who did I take? I think I took Morikawa as one of my long shots.
Yes, you did. Yeah,
and he's even as well.
He is.
So not bad start for us.
DJ 2 over.
Spieth is 1 over here.
Hey, it was great to see him get a win, eh?
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys, the game's better when he's playing well.
Yeah, like, you kind of felt for the guy because he was like on top of the world there for a bit and then it just kind of crumbled for him. So yeah, to see him finally pull one out.
There's a few names here at 2 over. Ian
Tony
Poulter,
Finau.
Yep, Brooke Koepka, Bubba Watson, DJ.
JT.
So it's what they say too.
Phil.
You can't win it on Thursday, but you can certainly lose it.
There you go. That is one of the truest statements.
So it's why it's early to look at the leaderboard, but it's never really too early. You always got to keep an eye on it.
Yeah. Hey, those guys on OTR, they asked a good question actually. Okay. And I'll ask it to you. How much, like, let's say you're like Jeff Bezos, okay? You got billions of dollars. How much would you be willing to pay to play Augusta?
Well, I mean,
one round. Because they gave like big numbers, and like I was like, I don't know.
Actually, I'll ask you another question after.
Okay.
But into the 100,000s probably for sure.
Okay.
Like
So I think Hunter was like 100,000 and Jake was like 500,000.
I don't know if I go 500, but I probably 100,000 seems like that's something if you had the opportunity, because it's just such a rare opportunity. You'd have to do it.
You want to know how much I'd pay?
Let's hear it.
$5. I'd pay $5.
$5.
because I'd be like, I'm gonna get so mad by the second hole at how terrible I'm playing that if I spent $100,000 to be that pissed off, I would be infuriated with myself.
All right. I got one for you now. I heard this might have been on Overdrive.
Okay.
Would you rather play Augusta or play with Tiger Woods at any random course?
Augusta,
yeah.
Augusta. And I'll tell you why. It's basically for the same reason, is that if I'm playing with Tiger Woods, like when you're just playing a regular round of golf, you put pressure on yourself. You're like, got to make a good shot here. When you're standing next to Tiger Woods,
okay, wait,
take that pressure and add like 1,000 times to it.
What if you just get like to talk with him and hang out and just like you're taking that out of the occasion? Like, okay, I guess like you can't just forget it because you still want to impress him, but like you're just hanging out, you're just playing around at golf.
I'd still take Augusta. And this is the thing. I've always done this when people are like, who are three people you would have like an imaginary dinner with? And it could be anybody. And my answer is always like, why would I want to have dinner with super famous people? Because any question I ask them is going to be retarded in their mind. If I'm there with Tiger, I'm going to be like, how do you stand like when you're trying to chip? And he'll be like, are you 4 years old? Like what? Like ask me a serious question.
Can you actually answer that question for me though? Like who would be three people?
Like any three people?
Yeah, I'll tell you mine after.
Let's see. I don't. Lana Rhodes. No.
Okay.
I have no idea. Like who? Three people. I have. I don't know. You go first. I gotta think.
Mine would probably be like Alex Ovechkin, Dmitry Orlov, and Evgeny Kuznetsov. They just seem hilarious. The Russian Capitals just seem different. They are so funny.
I think I would go. Oh, okay. I heard this. Good question. Good. This was a good. Basically, it's the same question. Okay. But I'm gonna frame it a little bit differently. You are going on a weekend boys trip. Okay, so you can only bring guys. All right, and it could be anybody.
Okay.
And you get to pick where you're going. Let's say we're going like on a camping trip. Okay.
Yeah.
Camping trip. You and six other guys. Anybody. Who are you
six?
Taking? Yeah, six.
Right.
We got time. We got time. Don't worry about it.
Let's start from the top here. We're gonna go. We're gonna go Sergei Kostitsyn.
Okay. What are these?
Dustin Johnson.
Okay.
Dennis Rodman.
DJ and Dennis Rodman in the same crew. What? So crazy. Okay.
Wait, how many am I at? 3?
Yeah, I guess you're 3. Yeah.
3. Okay. Oh, Tom Brady. Brady.
You're taking Tom.
Tom Brady. Okay, let's see here.
So you got 4, right? So now you need 2 more.
Yeah. Oh, Gronk too. Brady and Gronk for sure.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of not just like athletes. I'm trying to think of maybe like a musician or something else now.
Yeah. You like Jason Aldean?
Yeah, I was thinking him too.
Because you need somebody to bring the guitar, like somebody who could just like play the music.
I'll go. Yeah, Jason Aldean's a pretty good one.
All right. So I'm gonna go. Let's see. I'm gonna go a music artist too. I'm gonna go Luke Combs because he also knows how to fish, so he can just catch all the food for us. He's musician / chef for us. I'm taking Chuck and I'm taking Shaq. I'm taking them on my trip. I'm taking Peyton Manning I'm taking Manning. I'm taking the sheriff. So what am I at now? I'm at 4. Adam Sandler. I'm gonna take Adam Sandler, and I'm gonna take Matthew McConaughey.
That's a good one. Okay, like
that guy just tells stories.
Yeah, I was kind of like kidding with mine, but like kind of not kidding.
Oh, you wouldn't take all Russian guys?
I would absolutely take the Russian guys. They're so funny. But like
you would be so annoyed.
I was just thinking more like funny, like, but if I was actually doing it strategically, because you said camping, I would have done it differently.
Okay,
Okay. But I'm not gonna sit here and try to analyze that. Like you're talking about who's catching our dinner and stuff. Like they're all tons of money. We just bring enough food.
Okay. I'll still take Luke Combs. You can play the guitar.
Okay. Anyways.
Whatever. That's our camping trip.
Wait, have we ever talked about the Sergei Kostitsyn story on this show?
What's the story?
About him when he was drinking and then he was driving.
No.
Okay. So he's from Belarus. I don't know. So I think it might have been in Belarus or near Russia.
Okay.
So the guy is absolutely hammered, and he gets in his car, he's driving, and he ends up getting pulled over. So when the cop pulls up, he's sitting in the passenger seat.
Oh my god!
And he goes, "I don't know where
Legendary
the driver
move.
He goes, "I don't know where the driver went." I swear I've told this story on here.
You
before.
Definitely didn't. I don't think you did at all.
I think I have, unless I told it to you outside. Yeah,
you might have.
So that's why we always like when I make a joke, like, "Oh, the boys are," like you said, it's a boys' weekend. Like, "Oh, the boys are going drinking. We're going out drinking." It's definitely gonna be a Sergei Kostitsyn kind of night. Not from drinking and driving, but just like because he drinks a lot.
Yeah, he's just a drunk.
Yeah, it was just a really funny drinking story.
Speaking of that, I bought a Rob Ramich jersey, former Leafs captain, and I pulled it out of the bag, and my dad goes, "Oh, I'm surprised the writing isn't slurred," because I guess Ramich has like a huge drinking problem.
Really?
Yeah. Did you ever hear the Leo Komarov story where he got pulled over in Finland?
No.
So in Finland, if you get pulled over, a traffic ticket is based off how much you make in a year.
Oh, that is right.
So he's like a professional hockey player. So he makes millions of dollars a year. So his ticket's going to be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Well, he was a free agent at the time. So they were like, "And what do you make?" And he was like, "I'm in between teams." Like as if I'm in between jobs.
So he makes
and they were like, no, they were like, "You're getting a huge fine still. We're not letting you off with that."
Oh man.
Oh, Leo, Uncle Leo. What a guy. Where should we go? Oh, yeah, let's get into this. I love this story. Okay. Kansas City Chiefs proposed an end to the jersey number rule. Did you see this?
No, I didn't see this.
Okay. Did you know that there's a jersey number rule?
Like I knew there's certain I don't know. Actually, no, I'll say no, I didn't.
So I didn't either. I just kind of always thought it was
like 1 through 99 type thing.
Well, like I always thought it was just like a coincidence. Like teams were just like, "Hey, like if you're a wide receiver, you wear a number in the 80s, something like that." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just like for them. No, there's a actual rule about which numbers certain positions can wear. Like this is so stupid to me. So up until this proposal, quarterbacks, punters, and kickers can only wear numbers between 1 and 19. Okay?
Huh.
Running backs and defensive backs have to wear numbers between 20 and 49. Centers between 50 and 59. If all of those are used up, they can go 60 to 79. Guards and tackles, 60 to 79 is what they can wear. Wide receivers can wear 80 to 89, but if all of those are used up, they can go 10 to 19.
Okay.
Tight ends can only wear between 80 and 89. The D line, so D tackles, nose tackles, D ends, they can wear between 60 and 79, or if those are taken up, they can use 90 to 99. Linebackers, 50 to 59, or 90 to 99. Isn't that the dumbest rule you've ever heard where they're like, oh, you can only wear certain numbers?
Yeah, that is very dumb. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like I saw that and I was like, oh, there's an actual, like, which idiot was like,
yeah,
hey, you can only wear these numbers. And you're like, what?
How do you come up with that? Like, that's kind of wild, actually.
Like, why would you come up with it? Like, what purpose would that be?
Why is it taking so long to like propose an end to that?
Yeah, so like the NFL, or no, the Patriots, well, the NFL in general, but the Patriots put out these like photos of like if their players could wear their college numbers. And it was like Stephon Gilmore was wearing like number 5 or something, or, you know, whatever. Like, and then it was like Derrick Henry was wearing like 3 for the Titans. Like, it was just something like that. But I saw that and I was like, yeah, let's get rid of this stupid rule. Like, this is awful.
Yeah, I'm absolutely. Yeah, that needs to go immediately. I'm glad they proposed an end to that. Hopefully that doesn't take long to get rid of that.
No, like, I don't even know why anybody would oppose it. So it's going through for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And by the way, it's just a moneymaker for the league. Because now you have all these star players changing numbers. Everybody's going to be buying new jerseys.
I was thinking too, that must be like, there's gotta be a marketing aspect to that, like a jersey sales. That's definitely a money situation, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Like that's the only way. That's the only way that's imposed.
They basically want, but the proposal, which I don't really get, it's kind of stupid, is that only skilled positions can wear whatever number they want. Everybody else still has to say. It's still dumb. Like, why wouldn't it just be everybody?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's still dumb.
Like, that's like the NHL being like, if you're a defenseman, you can only wear single digits. You're like, what? That's so stupid. Why?
Get rid of that immediately.
Yeah, man. Did you see Sammy Darnold out of New York?
Yeah, I did see that because it's now to my division. So now the Bucks get to play Sam Darnold, Jameis Winston, and Matt Ryan. So
what do you think of the move? I mean, really matter.
I can see like the Carolina Panthers didn't give up a lot for Darnold. He's still really young. He hasn't played with a remotely even close to good offense yet in his career. So I don't necessarily think it's the end of Sam Darnold. I think there's still potential there, but this year will be telling for him. Like, based on his opportunity. Like, wait, Teddy Bridgewater's still there, correct? Or where's Teddy Bridgewater now? No, where is he now?
Oh, by the way, Justin Rose is 6 under.
6 under now? Jeez, okay.
Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater, doing a little Google search. Yeah, he's for the Panthers.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. So that'll be an interesting. So that's more of a competition now, right? So that's going to be a change of pace for both. But that'll
what did Carolina give up? They only gave up what, like a second and a fourth?
Yeah, it wasn't a lot. But
like for the Jets, like, isn't Sam Darnold 3rd overall pick?
Yeah, but here I'll move on towards the Jet now. So they have the 2nd overall pick, right?
Yeah.
Basically, this kind of solidifies that they're taking Zach Wilson 2nd overall.
Oh yeah,
he's an incredible talent to begin with, and I think he would have been an upgrade. But everyone thought, well, they could trade that down and get a bunch of picks. And yeah, you can argue maybe they could have done that, but this solidifies that they will be taking him at number 2. And I think that's the right decision because he's people have said like that he's in that same category as Trevor Lawrence. So I think he's one of those can't miss QB prospects, and they think that as well. I think that's a good decision because it wouldn't be fair to put him in that situation.
No,
or Sam Darnold really. So it's a good trade for both sides if you look at it that way. I don't think Carolina really gets any better though. I think the Jets do because they go in a direction that's more clear.
Like, I think the Jets, the problem is not a problem, but it's kind of like a bad look is like you took this guy at 3rd overall and like 2-3 years later, you're trading him away for a 2nd and a 4th.
Yeah, but
like, you're not really getting a lot.
No, that part of it is a bad look, but a good look is that you're admitting that you made the mistake, or you're also admitting that you're taking the best player available.
Yeah.
To your fan base, that you're saying, listen, you guys want this QB. We know this QB is available in Zach Wilson. He's an incredible talent. We're going to take him. We're going to do what's best for the franchise. Even if we invested a lot of time in a high draft pick into Sam Darnold, this is still better for our franchise moving forward. And I think it ultimately will be. Obviously, we have to see. He hasn't played an NFL snap, but he's an incredible talent coming out of college. So I think he'll be an upgrade over Sam Darnold for the Jets.
I think so. I saw this tweet or something that Schefter said that he believes that San Francisco is 100% taking Mac Jones at 3.
It really looks like it. I don't,
which is weird. Who's the guy for ESPN who's like the draft? He's like the draft Mel Kiper. He's like, I don't think Mac Jones. Mel Kiper.
There's like, a lot of people like who, there's a lot of people on the fence about that. I don't know. He comes from a good school. It's tough because I think Justin Fields is still the better talent. So
I do too.
Unless there's something that we're missing here, like there's nothing. I think he's still a first round QB, Mac Jones. I just really didn't expect him to be in that high, like that top 5. San Francisco's, what is their pick 4?
San Francisco
3. So that's a little bit of surprise. Like I would not have had him at number 3, but you
could argue Trey Lance is better than he is.
Yeah, there's those next 3. It was really there's like a tier 1. Well, actually, okay, it was more of Trevor Lawrence, then a tier of Zach Wilson, then a tier of Mac Jones,
Justin Fields,
Trey Lance, and you could throw maybe a couple, like names have shifted in and out of that. Right. But those 3 have been the ones that have been categorized together. So it does come as a little bit of surprise, but they seem to be all in and pretty convincingly ready to take Mac Jones at number 3.
Yeah, it's just
what does that mean for Jimmy G too?
Oh yeah, like they're saying they want a first round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. Good fucking luck. Nobody's giving you a first round pick for Jimmy G. If you do, you're insane.
Even like Sam Darnold is much younger, and I would argue he's a kind of a similar type of QB. Like he hasn't showcased anything spectacular either. Jimmy G, I'm talking about. I know people are gonna say, well, he went to the Super Bowl. It's like that defense was incredible. They also had 3 running backs who were able to perform at a pretty high level in the postseason. So I don't want to hear any of that. Well, Jimmy G went to Super Bowl. I know Joe Flacco has a Super Bowl. Like Eli has 2, and those guys were similar situations, incredible defenses. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I would not be investing a first round pick to get Jimmy G.
Definitely not. I mean, you'd be crazy to give one up. I saw this thing though, before we move on, about Sam Darnold, and they were talking about, this was right after the trade. And they said, before you write him off, remember that he's still young. Sam Darnold is younger than Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. He's still an incredibly raw talent. Like that's what I don't think. That's what I say. I don't think this is the end of Sam Darnold. I just give him a better opportunity, and hopefully he gets one in Carolina. But that's what I mean. I'm not ready to write Sam Darnold off just yet.
No, that's also like kind of a pet peeve I have with people who judge rookies kind of too early, whether too positively or too negatively. Like say like a Joe Burrow, where like he comes in and they're like, this guy's a savior. Like he's going to be the next star of the NFL. And then you're like, yeah, he's 24. He's in his prime. Like, I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's a kid. Like, it's like the same thing with like in the NHL, which we're about to get to, is like Kaprizov for Minnesota. And everyone's like, this kid's unreal. This kid's like the next star of the NHL.
He's 23 years old.
He's 23. Like, I mean, he's the same age as Matthews. And is he in the same league, like the same level as Matthews? No, not even close.
It was like Artemi Panarin, 35-year-old rookie.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, wow, he came in the league. He's so good. It's like, yeah, the guy's much older than every other rookie.
That was like, I think his name was Fernando Venezuela. Might have to look that up. He was a pitcher for the Dodgers, and when he came in, people were like, "This kid is so great," and he was. He was a good pitcher like for years, but there was always rumors that he was like 5 years older than
really?
what he actually was. Like that, they altered his birth certificate.
Who else was that? Thon Maker. They said that about Thon Maker too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There was some kid in Little League. Like used to be a thing in Little League where they would lie about, especially like, well, it used to be like baseball prospects who were from like Cuba. They would change their birth certificate, say they were younger, say they were older.
Like a benchwarmers thing. I am 12.
Basically, yeah. Like there was this kid who like years ago, like in the 90s, was playing in the Little League World Series, and he dominated. He like struck out, like he faced like, I don't know, I'm gonna make up a number. He faced 140 batters. He struck out 110 of them. Right, like he just like was unreal.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, they went through his birth certificates, and he was like 14 years old, playing against like 10-year-olds.
Oh my god! So yeah, he was much
but
older.
he had no idea. His dad did it.
Oh, so he didn't know?
His whole life, his dad lied to him.
No way.
About how old he was. And basically this was like an ESPN thing where he was like, I hate my dad.
Oh
because he lied to me that I was 5 years younger than I thought I was.
Then he goes to play into his own age and he's just not good.
Exactly.
That's
like,
crazy.
Like mentally it killed him.
Yeah.
He just had zero confidence, and he just like was not that good of a baseball player.
I couldn't imagine. You just go from being a phenom, like you think you're the best. Like he legitimately thought he's like, I'm an incredible 10-year-old baseball player. And then he goes, I'm 14. Well, no wonder. And I'm actually bad.
Well, I got a little story like that, so
oh my God.
I used to work, like my first job was I worked at the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
And I would every day I would take the kids to the gym. Don't know if I was supposed to, but I took them to the gym. And I was like, let's play some basketball. Now, dude, against these first graders, I was pretty good at basketball. Okay. I would lower the net as low as they would go. And I would just dunk over these kids all game. And I'd be like, yeah, that's what's up.
Like Blake Griffin?
I would trash talk them. I'd be like, yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, this is big boy basketball right here. And then when I would go to play people my own age, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm not that great at this sport. That we posted this thing on our Instagram, and I'm gonna play it because I just think it's so funny. It was Bradley Beal talking to, I think it was like high school players, and he was like, if you get into the league, you're gonna have to play me, and guess what, you can't guard me. Like it was something
I saw that. Yeah.
So when we posted it, we put the caption of me talking to the sixth graders out at the park.
I mean, if you got dreams to get into the league, you gotta play me. You gotta guard me. And guess what? Ain't none of y'all motherfuckers guard me. Ain't none of y'all taking my job.
That is me. That's me talking to sixth graders.
I could see that actually.
Ain't none of y'all taking my job. You gonna play me. But yeah, so anyways, we were onto it, so let's get into it. NHL Trade Deadline Monday. Let's go.
I'll be sitting on the couch all day watching that.
100%. Well, actually, I'm going to be at work. I can't do that. I may bring in a TV. I don't know if the boss will like that. And he'll be like, "What are you doing?" I go, "I got to watch Trade Deadline."
Yeah, you said it's for research purposes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm researching, just some trades that are going on in the market right now.
Good morning, Vietnam!
You motherfucker. He snuck back in. He snuck back in. The window's open, and he got back in.
He was waiting for the nice weather to come back, eh? He found a way back.
All right, if you're going to be here, seriously, you have to shut up while I do the show, okay? You're all right to have around. You're kind of funny. Okay. When we're watching movies, it's all right. But when I'm doing the show, can you please be quiet with the Good Morning Vietnam? It was 40 years ago. Get over it. It's not that funny of a movie.
Good
oh my God.
morning, Vietnam!
This guy, whatever. I'll deal with him later. But yeah, trade deadline Monday. But some teams getting out ahead of it. The Islanders and the Devils made a big deal, last night?
Yes, yeah, they did.
Kyle
last
Palmieri,
night.
Travis Zajac, who has been around for a minute.
He
Travis
is
Zajac.
heating up right now too. He's
really?
Yeah, he was playing some good hockey. But this is a move as a Capitals fan. I do not enjoy seeing this. Palmieri has been a very consistent goal scorer for years now. Zajac, like I said, he's been heating up. I mean, he's probably no more than a third line center at this point, right? I think we can agree on. But he has some experience. He's another guy, another depth piece. You know, you can never have too much of that when you come into the playoffs, guys. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you deal with injuries and stuff like that. So yeah, that team just got a lot tougher to play against. And I think they're going to make a serious run here for that division title and possibly a nice playoff run. But I think these are also help a little bit with the injury to Anders Lee. These will kind of fill that void and more, because that team looked really good already. So yeah, not too excited to see that. I'm still hoping. I'm hoping now, because Washington just placed Panik on waivers. He cleared, so he's on the taxi squad. We're struggling for cap. I think we could probably buy about a bag of rice with that cap space. But we'll see. That gives us some room. I think you have to move a contract out if you want to bring someone in. But I think they're going to look for someone on that third line to add a little bit of scoring.
All right, yeah. So let's get into it. So you think? So where do you think third line scoring is the Capitals' biggest need right now?
Yeah, well, I think these, obviously you just have a weekend till a deadline, but no one's been able to hold that spot. It's kind of concerning because Daniel Sprong has looked really good at times, but they still, I don't know if Laviolette just doesn't have the comfort in his two-way play, because it's no secret the guy's been a little bit of a liability in his own end, but I thought he played all right. And when I saw that Panik had been waived or put on waivers, I thought, okay, well, they're kind of looking towards then a Sprong, Eller, and Vrana third line, because that just spreads out some scoring. And then I was kind of thinking, okay, Sprong has beat out Panik because they've been fighting for that last forward spot all year. But then tonight, now we're going Daniel Carr on that third line. I don't know if you know really much about Daniel Carr. He played in Nashville with Laviolette. So then he liked him. We signed him as a free agent. He was dominating the Swiss league. He was playing over there in Europe before the NHL started up again. He's having a really good year. And he played 2 or 3 games this year for us. We had all those injuries and COVID issues. And he looked really good. Didn't put up a ton of points, but he's a gritty guy. And maybe that's why Laviolette likes him. He can use him in different situations. But yeah, he's playing tonight. So we'll see how that goes, because that means obviously they're not convinced that Sprong can hold that spot. So now I'm thinking of that, a third line scoring option on the right side, the right wing there. That could be a target.
So the Capitals right now in the East Division are tied with the exact same record as the Islanders. So they're tied at 54 points, 25, 10, and 4. Yeah, I mean, since the Islanders made a big move, you would think the Capitals are looking at that and going, we got to hold serve here.
I got to say,
have a chance at the division title.
I got to say, though, this division has not disappointed. It's been a war all year. It's been fun to watch. I thought the Penguins were a little bit past their prime at the start of the year. I thought they just didn't look the same. They caught fire. They're starting to heat up right now, too. The Capitals are heating up. The Islanders are heating up. Even the Rangers now. The Rangers have stole some wins from teams. A lot of those young guys are starting to feel comfortable now, I feel like. Adam Fox looks amazing there right now. Shesterkin too. So they're a team that's they're fighting there. I think the top 4 are pretty locked in though. But Philadelphia's been a little disappointing, but they're still the Flyers. Like they're a good hockey team. So the Rangers and Flyers are there. They're going to cause some issues for teams fighting for that number 1 spot. It's going to be tough.
If I was to guess right now, I think the Rangers leapfrog the Bruins.
Really?
And I think they make it. I think the Bruins miss.
The Bruins have a tough weekend coming up. They play us twice in this weekend, so
and then we'll see. The Islanders, I think, right after.
Yeah, so they got a tough little stretch here. So they will be a team to watch at the deadline as well. I think they need to add scoring depth. So yeah, this is big for this whole division, the East Division.
I thought they would be in on. I mean, I think they were, but I thought they were going to go strong after Palmieri.
I did too.
Where he was going, but
let's switch gears here. We talked about my team. Let's talk about your team a little bit. Jack Campbell looks really good.
Real good.
Haven't heard a lot about Frederick Anderson yet. Defense looks obviously it's been steady all year.
Solid.
It's been steady all year. I don't know, like I'll give you my little analysis before we'll get into yours. I don't hate I don't love your defense, but I do like it. I think there's enough. I think it's better than it's been in the past. The problem is I think it lacks the name of the pure number 1, like a Hedman or a Carlson or that, but there's enough there. And there's 4 guys. I know you're going to say Morgan Riley, but I don't think he's those guys. And I think the addition of Brody though, this year has helped steady that out and even that top 4. But I don't know. What's your take? What are you guys looking for? A lot of people are saying.
Before I get into that, I'm going to defend Morgan Riley's honor and calling him not a number 1 defenseman. The man is a number 1 defenseman. I mean,
I didn't say he was a number 1 defenseman. I didn't say he's just not in that I don't think he's in that top tier of number 1 defenseman that we've seen dominate the past few years. A lot of those big teams have those key number 1 defenseman. I don't think he's in that tier. And that's why I think it was important to go out and even out that top 4. Because you don't he plays a lot of minutes, but I think he needed a little more help back there.
Well, yeah, he definitely needed more help. I mean, you can't really expect to win series when your D partner is Cody Ceci. I mean, it's just not going to work.
You know what really pisses me off? I was so excited when I saw he left. He's going to Pittsburgh. I was like, nice. We get to play him 9. We get to play,
got a pylon back there.
I was like, I get to play him 8 times. We get to play him 8 times this year. But he hasn't looked that bad. I was like, are you kidding? I was like, why is he now? He's so bad. I was like, why is he not the same here?
He's terrible.
Anyways,
but I mean, Morgan Riley, the last full season he played last year, he was hurt. He had in 82 games, he had 72 points.
Yeah, I know. He had a really good year, but
that also okay. As far as the Leafs right now, I think they need some more sandpaper up front, some more truculence.
It's big Brian Burke word there.
Burke's Law, you know it. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I think they need some sandpaper up front. If we're looking at like Frank Saravelli's trade bait board, at number 4 right now is Nick Foligno. And I'll tell you right now, I love me some Nick Foligno. He's got, 41 games this year. He's got 16 points at a 5.5 cap hit. But by the time the deadline rolls around, that's probably going to be, they played 40 games. So that's probably only going to be just over $1 million in cap space that the Leafs will have to clear up. They'd probably be able to do that with a Alex Kerfoot. But yeah, I think some sandpaper up front. So I like Nick Foligno. As far as defense, I wouldn't really add anything to the defense unless I was getting a bona fide top 4. But even then, I think Justin Hall is a top 4 defenseman now. I think everybody in their top 4 is a top 4 defenseman. You follow me?
Yeah. And it seems to, I think this is the first time in a long time you can say that before you had guys, if it was Dermott, if it was CC, whoever it was, cycling in and out of positions they shouldn't have been in. And like you shouldn't have those guys playing 18, 19 minutes, 20 minutes sometimes. Like that's not the type of player they are. And they finally sorted it out where they found a top four that works, is playing the minutes they should and are in a position. That's how you have to put guys in a position to succeed. I'm sorry, but you can't force a guy into a top four role when he's not meant to be in that role. It's not fair to him. And then he gets obviously the criticism from the media and the fans, right? It doesn't work that way. You can't just force a guy because you need that role filled.
Right.
But I like what you said too about the sandpaper. That seems to be the consensus. But like I said, I'm looking at like you said, you're looking at the board. I'm looking at the board too. And I like how everyone was talking about the big names like Taylor Hall. Then there's other guys you come down. There's like Forsberg. There's like Raquel. Those are a stretch. I don't think people realistically think they were going there, but they're like, there's a chance. But Raquel is more of a realistic one when it comes to contract situation. But then you get down, there's like a Granlund stuff, and then you went to Foligno, and like when I look at that, that's more of a name that fits a need than it is a want. The other ones are a little more flashy, but do they really fit the need? Why do you need a seventh scoring forward, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need, like, how many of those do you need? You just picked up Galchenyuk, who's kind of the same. Like, he's not a gritty guy, but he seems to be able to chip. Yeah, he seems to be chipping in. He's more of a skilled guy, but yeah, like the sandpaper is probably the direction you want to go.
I think so. And a guy who you can move up and down in your lineup is a big one. So like a Nick Foligno, a guy who could play on your second line with Tavares and Nylander, or if you had to, you could put him down the third line, even the fourth line, but you wouldn't. Really. But there's a guy that I've been saying where all of this focus has, and I'll get into it in a minute, all the focus has been on player A, where I think actually player B fits a better mold for the Maple Leafs. So all this attention has been on Nick Foligno, which I would love Nick Foligno. I think like if the Leafs made a trade right now for Nick Foligno, I'd be like, great, love it. Love him as a player, hardworking, leader, physical, got some skill, love it.
Yep.
The guy I would be focused more on, though, when it comes to the Leafs, I don't even know if he's available. But other guys seem to be available from Columbus. Boone Jenner.
He just got placed on long-term injured reserve, though.
Did he?
He's having surgery.
Never
I don't
mind,
know.
then.
I don't know if
pay
that's the guy
attention to the Columbus.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
newsletter.
the guy you want.
Whatever.
I mean,
anyways, Nick
Nick Foligno.
Back to Nick Foligno. That's fine.
All right, let's go hear some buyers and sellers then.
Okay, yeah, let's go buyers and sellers, and then we'll come back to the list and we'll go down and we'll go, do you think these players are getting moved? How about we do that? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go buyers and sellers. All right, Capitals, sellers, obviously. No, so we're gonna do fringe teams where we're going, should they sell? Should they buy? What should they do? All right, let's start with let's start in the Central. The Stars. Now, the Stars have 3 games in hand on the 4th place Predators, and they are 7 points out from the Predators' position. I mean, I think the Stars sell. Although they did go to the Stanley Cup Finals last year.
I'm conflicted. I almost think neither. If anything, you retool. If there's some bad contracts or a hockey trade to be made, I do it, because they kind of have a mix of, you got your Jamie Benns. Tyler Seguin hasn't played all year, remember? So I don't think this is a panic mode. You get rid of Jamie Benn and Seguin and those guys, right? And like, you got guys like Rupa Hintz, Miro Heiskanen, John Klingberg, who are not old players. I think if anything, it's more of a retool. Like I said, if there's a hockey trade to be made, but they could be, I think they might stay put more than anything.
Okay. I agree with you on that. The Blue Jackets sell. I mean,
sell.
They're just like a team full of like second line players.
They just don't have the talent.
You know what I mean? They just don't have the talent. Blackhawks actually doing surprisingly well. I thought they would be the worst team in the league by far. They're actually doing surprisingly well. I would still say sell, though.
I don't know.
I almost really have enough.
I almost want to say bye because they don't have Taves. I don't know what his situation's like. What if he comes back for playoffs? What if you get into the playoffs? Remember they got in, they beat Edmonton in the play-in. Like I don't know. It's tough because if you get that 4 spot, you're gonna end up playing probably Carolina, Tampa. Or, I mean, Florida's first now, but so all 3 of those teams are good. But don't you almost owe it to those guys that have been there, like the Keith, the Kane, long enough to try and just get like win a round or two, just try and get back into the playoffs. I know they said they were looking a different direction at the start of the year, but I think they're exceeding expectations. They just got Kirby Dach back too, right?
I mean, they're definitely exceeding expectations, no doubt. And I also looked up I was like, what is going on with Jonathan Taves? And nobody knows. And but like the Blackhawks, I guess, but like if you're Stan Bowman and you're like, we're gonna buy and then we're gonna get fucking pummeled in 4 against the Panthers.
Yeah, it is a difficult situation. I don't know. That's another that division is tough because 3 of the seeds are locked up. It's 4 teams fighting for 1 spot, and only so you have a 25% chance of getting it.
And then there's the Predators.
Yeah,
right? They have 43 points. They're in the 4th spot, but like I would honestly say sell because your whole team is made up of overpaid middle tier players.
Pretty much. They're playing well now, but this is way overdue. This has been 2 years of underachieving to get here, and you're finally playing a month of good hockey. And that trade bait board is full of Predators for a reason.
Yeah. Matt Duchene is $8 million for most of the year. Matt Duchene's an $8 million player a year, and he's a second line center.
Because I'm trying to think, Granlund, Ekholm, they're even Forsberg. They've all been part of that trade board. So, yeah, that division is the toughest one to determine here.
Yeah,
but I might still sell just because they've gone so many years of underachieving with that same core.
Yeah. All right. The East. Sabres, big buyers, definitely. Yeah. No, but Bruins buyers.
I think
right.
I think you're almost gonna see those top 5. Everyone's gonna be buying.
Plus
top 6,
including the Rangers.
I'm including the Rangers and the Flyers.
Yeah.
Would not surprise me if all of those teams are buyers.
Speaking of the Rangers, guess who has yet to play a game since his little incident?
Tony DeAngelo?
Yeah. Dude, he hasn't played in the AHL anywhere.
Wow.
He's just at home.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I looked that up. I was like, I wonder what he's doing. Nothing.
I thought from a talent perspective, he'd find a home somewhere, but maybe he couldn't really hide his attitude anymore. He might, it's not looking good for Tony DeAngelo.
But yeah, I think Bruins buyers, Rangers buyers, Flyers buyers, Devils and Sabres, obviously not. But like Penguins, buyers, Capitals, everyone's a buyer in that division.
That's what I was saying. That division's full of buyers right now.
The West is interesting because you got some fringe teams. This is crazy. So the Avalanche buyers, Golden Knights buyers, the Wild doing shockingly well. I didn't think they were going to be that good.
I think they're going to be buyers.
They're buyers. But then you got the Coyotes. They're in. They were rumored to be sellers and giving up Connor Garland. But now they're in a playoff spot.
Yeah, I think they're going to be more of a stay put team as well.
Yeah.
I think the Blues are still going to try. I think they're going to be buyers to try and get into that spot there.
I don't know because now they're saying that Hoffman and Bozak are now available, and Vince Dunn.
Yeah, Hoffman was a healthy scratch the other night too. That's signing. Isn't that funny too? That guy, everyone was like, "Wow, why did he took so long to get signed?" Then it was a PTO, and then it was. Now he was a healthy scratch. Maybe there was something more going on. This guy his point total wasn't really adding up to what he brings. There's a lot more to his game that he could have brought more aspects to the game, I guess.
Remember when it came out why Mike Hoffman was traded away from Ottawa?
Yes.
Well, it had to do with Carlson's wife, right?
It was
Hoffman's girlfriend or something.
Yeah, something about her harassing Carlson's wife. It was a big incident. But if we're going to that division 2, I think another team is big seller, the Sharks. They should be big sellers at least.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to get into that because they have two games in hand, but they're only 5 points off the Coyotes. Like they shouldn't be buyers. They have a ton of terrible contracts. They're not going to win. But you could almost make the argument they should stay put.
Yeah, you could, but I think they should sell.
Did you see the interview of Carlson when like the San Jose reporter? What do you have? He had 2 goals and then he had the shootout winner.
Yeah.
And the reporter goes, Eric, is that the greatest offensive game you've ever had? And he's like chewing an apple. He's like, not even close.
Yeah.
And then somebody he's like, he's had 33 3-point games and like 5 4-point games. And this guy's like, God. Is your 2 goals the best you've ever done?
Clearly that guy did not watch a lot of Erik Karlsson in Ottawa.
Yeah, Karlsson's basically like, did you watch me in Ottawa? No, this is not my best game. Yeah, so like the Sharks, I don't know, you could argue, you say they sell. I say maybe they stay put. The Kings, man, they've fallen off, eh?
Yeah, they're going to be sellers too. But this is more or less what we predicted from the start, right?
Like all 3 California teams,
Yeah, they should be sellers. The North.
The North. Here we go. Now this is interesting. Okay. Maple Leafs buyers, Oilers buyers,
Jets buyers, Habs
Canadians
buyers. They've already made one move. I think they'll make 1 or 2 more.
But I almost think if they're smart, which Mark Bergevin is not, I think the Stahl move is your last move. Like you're not beating Toronto, you're not beating the Oilers, and you're definitely not beating the Jets. Like,
see, that's where
you're getting bounced in the first round.
I'm not convinced that though. If they add someone, another scoring threat, they have the most forward depth in that out of those teams. Not the most talented for sure. They also have the best D core and the best goalie. You're right. They'd be an underdog, but they haven't, like, if Carey Price, it plays like Carey Price and that defense can play up to their potential.
Right.
There's an opportunity there. We've seen crazier things just to play NHL. That's why I love NHL, right? We sit here, we talk about NBA each week, NFL. This is the league with it's the most parity. If we're going to see them bounce someone like the Jets, or I think Toronto or the Jets would be incredibly tough to beat. But if, for say, something wild were to happen, Montreal could be the team to do it. They did it last year, right? They beat Pittsburgh. No, yeah. So
the Canadians are a good team. They got a lot of good second line players playing on their first line. Yeah, they're really good. But no, I agree with you. Their defense is it's okay. Like there's nothing about their team that really impresses me though. Like Carey Price is not playing well.
What you just said too about their second line and the first line, you chuckled after, but you're absolutely kind of right.
I'm 100% right.
Yeah, like that's that when it comes down to it, that's the problem is there's not enough game breakers on that team. When the score, we're watching it last night, like Corey Perry scored twice to make it 3-2. Corey Perry, like he's their third line right winger. Like there's that game, they had enough chances to score, but they don't have guys who shoot the puck like Matthews. Like they can't capitalize on those chances.
They don't have a single first line player on their team. Name one.
No,
this guy's a first line player. There's none. There's not one. So them, I would say stay put, because if you buy more, you're just like.
Well, I think you try to add, but you don't go out of your way. You don't give up.
Okay. I agree.
Prospect or a high pick, but if I wouldn't be opposed to giving up like a second and a fourth or a third and a fifth, or you know what I mean, for another depth forward, like a scoring.
I agree with that. I could see that. Yeah, I think those 4 spots in the North, though, those are set.
Yeah, no, I agree. Now after Calgary's, they just look bad. Calgary's looks brutal, and they are not catching anyone now.
Like the Jets and the Oilers could flip flop. But like, I think the Leafs are first. I think the Canadians are fourth. Those 2 middle ones, they can battle it out. But yeah, the Canucks sellers, they got some COVID, eh? They got a little bit of a problem with the COVID.
That's going to cause an issue for the trade deadline too. Can they even sell? Like, what do you do?
True.
Like, those players are going through this COVID protocols and stuff. So I guess I have to stay tuned to see how this goes, because that's only 4 days away, the trade deadline, or 4 days now, right?
Yeah.
What
That's
days?
true, actually.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah. So like, I don't know. That might be a team that's forced to stay put because are these players, they don't want to leave their families right now. This is a big deal. So I guess we'll have to stay tuned to see what they say about that. But the next few days will be huge for them.
The Flames are terrible. They're sellers.
Yeah, they're bad. They are bad.
They're another team where like Matthew Tkachuk is a first line player, but nobody else really is anymore.
Their top players have underachieved so much this year. That is why they are so bad. Their top players.
Markstrom's terrible.
He hasn't looked good. I keep telling you this. I will not invest big dollars in a goalie. I'm just like the running back position. This is what happens. We saw Bobrovsky. Look at Price at times this year. Now Markstrom. It's just too risky.
Right. I agree.
I'm not comfortable investing that much in it.
Yep. I agree with you. Senators, sellers. Okay. So yeah, we got some buyers. We got some sellers. I think it's a buyer's market because I think there's a lot of teams, especially because I think it's a buyer's market because there's not a lot of teams buying because both of the expansion draft, right? They have to have a certain amount of players unprotected. And also the cap not going up. So like you can't, you know what I mean? Like, so I think it's a buyer's market. And we saw that yesterday with Paul Mary. Like I think it was the Devils. Yeah, the Devils retained 50% of both Zajac and Palmieri's contracts just so they could get a first round pick.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see a lot of the cap retained if teams, because like you said, salary cap's not going up. It's going to be very difficult for those teams. Yeah, honestly, most contenders are tied up against the cap.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
You're not really a contender. Tampa, like Washington, Toronto, et cetera, Pittsburgh. So, yeah, you're going to see a lot of cap retained to make any of these deals happen.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get it. Let's just run through this trade bait board, and we'll just say, what do you want to say? Whether they're going or whether they're staying? These players?
Sure. I'm looking at a different one than you. So, do you want to read off yours, or do you want?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Number one, David Savard, staying, going. If so, where's he going?
I think we touched on Columbus. I think they should sell.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Toronto and Winnipeg are possibilities. I'm leaning more Winnipeg because they need a defenseman more.
Mm-hmm. Winnipeg, yeah, I could see that. Winnipeg definitely makes sense. I could definitely see that. I could see maybe Pittsburgh. I think they need some defense help, but it all depends on cap and how much money they got. Taylor Hall, staying, going.
I would love to see him go into Edmonton.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, because Edmonton also has like $20 million in cap space this summer.
Yeah, they would be able to.
So I mean, they could do a sign. They could do a sign and trade.
Yep, I think that could fit for them.
I think if I was to guess, I think he's going. I would say, well, I was gonna say the Islanders, but now they got Paul Mary. Probably Edmonton is the only one that's left, really. You could probably make an argument for the Avalanche. But yeah, I like Edmonton. Mike Hoffman, because he just got at it. Do you think he's going? I don't think he is.
No, I don't think so.
Because I think there's a lot of question marks about him, like whether teams will want him or not. Nick Foligno, I don't think he's going. I don't really think he's going to go.
I think it's tough to move a guy like that because he's their captain too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, Columbus that's an interesting. I feel like you would see guys even like Max Domi, guys like that, and Savard go before Foligno. So even maybe a goalie too. I've heard they're looking to move out. That's a tough one. I might lean towards staying, but I could see the Bruins as a possibility too.
Yeah, they love those big guys.
Yeah.
Granlund from Nashville, staying or going? I think he's going.
I think he's going. That's a guy I hope the Caps take a look at.
Okay.
A guy who can play wing, center. We have good centers, but we don't have good center depth. Like if a guy goes down, he'd be a nice guy to have that can slot in there. And I was talking about that third line scoring. He could help with that. Vrana, and Eller would be a really nice third line. That's something I'd be looking at.
Josh Manson. I don't think he's going anywhere. I mean, the guy's only played 14 games. This guy's always seems to be hurt. I don't know who would want to take a chance that he's going to stay healthy down the stretch. I don't know, but
I mean, he was a couple of years ago. I think the trade was more like the trade rumors around him seemed to be bigger than they are now. I haven't really heard it's quieted down lately, but they seem to like him there too. So I'm going to say that he stays, but we'll see. Anaheim could be. I don't think there's any untouchables there right now, besides maybe like Zegras and Drysdale, right?
Right. Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, Josh, man, I just don't think I don't know who wants him at 4.1 million for a guy who seems to always be hurt. I don't know. I wouldn't do it, but we shall see. So yeah, the trade deadline is Monday. Big day. What is it? 3 p.m. is the deadline?
3 or 4. Yeah, I know they're all different between NBA and NFL. So I think it's 3 NHL, maybe 3 or 4.
Okay. Well, so 3 or 4 o'clock, whatever. We'll figure it out. Monday is the trade deadline for the NHL. So stay tuned. Hopefully there's a lot of action with that quarantine. You never know, right? Some teams might not really feel the need if they're not going to be able to have the guy for 2 weeks, or if he's coming from the US. So
well, hopefully it's there's some action.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I feel bad for those guys who have to do those trade deadline shows.
Yeah, those 8-hour shows, 9-hour shows in there with like 5
trades. Yeah, it would be brutal. All right, well, you want to get into some weekend picks?
Let's do it.
All right, what do you got?
All right, we'll start off with Saturday night. I'm going to take the Jets playing in Montreal. I'll get the Jets over the Habs.
Okay.
Saturday as well, we'll head into some baseball. I think this game is a night game. Should be a pretty good one. The Nationals at the Dodgers. I'm going to go with the Dodgers.
Right on.
We'll move on to Sunday here. Some NBA action. I'm going to take the Grizzlies, who are hosting the Pacers. And then we'll finish off. I know we're not supposed to do this, but I feel confident
breaking the
this
rules.
Weekend. I'm taking the Capitals on the road Sunday at Boston. Let's go.
I can't wait. I hope that's a playoff series. Boston and Washington. It is electric every time they play. Just I love it. All right. For me, we got baseball. We got the first baseball picks from me of the year. Let's go. Both games Saturday. I got the Twins over the Mariners. I think that's an afternoon game. I like how the Twins are playing. Don't like how the Mariners are playing. Taking the Twins. Then we got the Yankees versus the Rays. Taking the Yanks. Don't like the Rays. Don't like their team. Don't think they're good. I think they're the third best team in that division. Taking the Yanks. We're hitting the ice same day Saturday. Okay? This is big. Kurt, don't know if you're going to agree with this. I am taking, to win a hockey game in the NHL, I am taking the Buffalo Sabres to beat the Philadelphia Flyers.
That's a moneymaker for the parlays. Get that in. You heard it.
Moneymaker. Lock it in. Lock it in. It's a lock. Take it. Also Saturday, we got a little Big Apple rivalry.
Love it.
In baseball, it's the Subway Series. We got the Rangers versus the Islanders. Give me the Rangers.
I like it.
Give me the underdog. Give me the Rangers.
I'll take the Rangers over the Islanders.
Travis Zajac. Don't matter. Give me the Rangers.
Okay.
Taking them.
Love it. Love it.
Love it. That was a great show, Kurt. I love it.
Yeah, that was fun. That was great.
Absolutely fantastic. Everybody, thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. I think this is episode 10. Not really sure, but really appreciate it. Hit like, hit subscribe, watch the trade deadline. It's coming up. We'll be back next week.